Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Smurfy, and as we can see, today we are back on the Amulet of Vigor Timeless Lotus combo deck. It was only last night that I was playtesting this deck with some friends, and they were trying to convince me to play it at my next RCQ, and then it just happens the next day that I see a video from Aspiring Spike has updated his list, and I just had to check it out. And I agree with some of the cards, and I didn't like some of the changes. So today we're going to be playing a slightly more tuned list of mine, but it is slightly different to Aspiring Spike's list. So the main addition to the new deck is Up the Beanstalk. It's everywhere in Modern. Everyone knows Beanstalk is pretty much one of the best green enchantments printed since like Sylvan Library. The card is just absolutely ridiculous. 4 of those is very, very easy to trigger multiple times in the same turn. You can often draw 3-4 cards, sometimes even more than that. You can draw like 10 cards if you're comboing off. So the main addition is, other than Beanstalk, is I am now playing 4 Lotus Field. I originally was playing 1, I then added it up to 2. Last night I was discussing with my friends how I think 3 or 4 is just better, because it allows you to use double Amulet of Vigor to straight away start casting all of your spells, whereas if you only use a bounce land, you still need a third land. Sorry, an additional land. So yeah, I really like the addition of playing 4 Lotus Fields. I really agree with Spike's list in regards to that. There is a couple of things that I didn't like. He is playing Cavalier. I much prefer Escape to the Wild. I think that's way more sustainable. Other than that, I am playing a Sculpting Steel in the main deck. Originally, people were playing like 4 of these in their decks. I didn't really find it that great. It makes the deck a lot more consistent, but not very explosive. I know a lot of people playing Expedition Map. I hate Expedition Map in this deck, so I've cut the Expedition Map. I'm playing a Sculpting Steel. Anyway, that is my list. If you haven't seen the gameplay for this deck before, it is absolutely wild. You can win as soon as turn 2. You can win on turn 3 quite consistently as well, as you will probably see in some games. We'll probably get some turn 3 wins. Hopefully we'll get a turn 2 win. That's always nice to see. But the deck basically revolves around getting Amulet of Vigor in play. You play a Lotus Field. Lotus Field makes 3 mana instantly, or 6 if you've got 2. And then if you've got 3 or 4 or even 5 or 6, because we do play Mycosynth Gardens as well, you are just going to end up with an absurd amount of mana. Your Timeless Lotus often make you 20 mana the turn that you play them, and then you just hardcast an Emrakul. Over in the sideboard, it is pretty straightforward. You play 2 more Emrakuls. This is for Solitude decks and things like anything that can get rid of cards from play. You still need a win condition ultimately. So we play some extra Emrakuls for Solitude and that kind of stuff. Leyline Sanctity, I assume, is just for scam and things like that. I guess it also works against Burn, if you really care. I don't know if Burn is even quick enough. Veil of Summer, Boseiju is pretty self-explanatory. The extra Forest, again, is, I assume if they have lots of Boseijus, then you need more lands in your deck. Welding Jar is really good at keeping your Amulet of Vigors alive because it costs 0 mana. It's just like a free way to keep them alive. And Pithing Needle, I think, is for just like anything that blows up your stuff. So I'm pretty sure you just like name Boseiju, you name Ren and 6, that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you haven't seen the deck, make sure to watch the gameplay because it is absolutely crazy. The things you can do in this deck do not look like you're playing Modern. This looks like you're playing an EDH deck half the time. You shouldn't be getting up to 30, 40 mana in Modern. It's yeah, it's wild. So let's get into some gameplay. If you do enjoy the content, please make sure to subscribe and give the video a like. It makes a huge difference to me and other small content creators, so not just me. If you watch other people on their small channels, make sure you give them a like because it does make a big difference to them. And I always really appreciate comments. I do try to respond to as many comments as I can. Thanks for watching, guys. Let's get into some gameplay. Oh, sweet. We get to go on the play. Awesome to see. And what do we got? No Amulet and no way to get one. So you send it back. And still no Amulet, so down to 5. This deck is actually fine going down to 5. As long as you get the pieces you need, it's not the end of the world. And the deck doesn't really operate without it, so you don't really get a choice. Okay, perfect. So we'll go ahead and keep. What we need is a land that stays in play, so we'll go with GB Saga, I guess. An Amulet of Vigor, A second Amulet is nice. A Lotus Field. And a Storm. So we put back these two. Alternatively, can we keep anything else? Is the Gardens better than the Saga? Probably not. Oh, that was wrong. This and this. Yeah, I think that's correct. 5 cards is fine, especially with a hand like this. We can have 3 Amulet of Vigors in turn, in play by turn 3. So Amulet of Vigor is online. Obviously we miss our turn 2 land, but that's not the end of the world. Playing an Amulet of Vigor is way more important than playing a land. Opponent just leads up with the Wooded Foothills. So interested to see what they're on. So let's just go play another Amulet and pass the turn, and just hope that next turn when we go Lotus Field into one of these, we don't just get our spell countered. Because if we do, we probably lose. Opponent's got a Ziatora's Proving Ground, so they could be on Jund. Yeah, it looks like they are on Jund. Please no hand disruption. Oh, okay. So they're probably on Creativity then, which means they don't have too much interaction that we have to worry about. Or, yeah, I assume they're Creativity, because these are both mountains as well, which generally you have to play. They go and pitch a Fable. Okay, we might be able to go off here. So we will float mana, go and get a 3rd Amulet of Vigor, and now we can go up to 3, 6, 9, 10 mana. And then I guess we just cast Escape. That's got to be correct, right? So Lotus Field comes into play. We'll put the sack one on the stack first. Let's go green, red, and probably just green again, I think. And then we sack it. And I think we want to escape first. We've got 3, 6, 10 mana, so this will put us down to 5, but then we get an extra land drop and we can still cast our Storm. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We'll spend 1 of the red, the colorless, and 1 green. And what do we found? Everything we could want and more. Okay, nice. Let's go ahead and play the Gruul Turf, I guess. Yeah, we'll go Gruul Turf. Oh, we've got so much mana. How is this fair? We've mulliganed to 5. It's turn 3, and we just have like everything we could need and more. I love this deck so much. Okay, so that goes back to hand, and then I guess we just Ancient Stirrings. Try and look for an Amulet again. Timeless Lotus is pretty good. Let's go ahead and take that. They can go in any order. And we've got 10 mana, so we can Beanstalk first, then Timeless Lotus. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We'll use a red. And we get to draw a card from the Beanstalk. We find Golos, and now we can go play the Timeless Lotus. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. We're going to draw... We could basically just draw our entire deck here, I think. Yeah, so let's just move the exile card. So we can still play these this turn if we need to. So we float the Mana Earth Amulet. And again. And again. And then we can just go... I think we just Storm first, right? Try and find some more amulets. And our opponent could probably just concede at this point, but it looks like they want to make us play out. And we we have Bounce Land and a Timeless Lotus. Unfortunately, you can't put 2 Timeless Lotus into play. Yeah, we'll go with those. You can't put 2 Timeless Lotus into play. Or you can, but you... okay, so it's the one on the right. Choose one to keep, which is the new one. Then we want the Gruul Turf to go on the stack first, and then all of these untaps. Oh my god, we just have so much mana. We've got the Golos, so we can, we can spin to win the Golos as many times as we need to now. So let's one resolve, make more mana. Make more mana. And then eventually we have to bounce that land. And then I guess we just storm again. How much mana have we got? We've got so much mana. So we'll flashback the storm. We get to trigger up the beanstalk again. We find another Amulet of Vigor. Let's go to the Synth Gardens and... Sure, a Selesnya Sanctuary is fine. Let's go for that. So those come into play. More Amulet triggers. I can't believe our opponent is still... Why they're still making us play this out. I guess they haven't seen the payoff yet. Maybe if we just play the Golos, they'll scoop it up. We can just copy this now. And final trigger. Put it back into our hand, and surely if we show them Golos, they're going to concede here. Does it matter what we use? Not really, but we'll try and keep all of our random colors even and keep mostly green. So we trigger trigger Beanstalk again. So Golos trigger. Now we get to go get a Lotus and make even more mana. So put the Lotus on the stack first, and now we basically just have it unlimited mana for the rest of this. I can't imagine this not going off at this point. I think our opponent is just waiting to see what our win con of choice is. So maybe they have like a sideboard card. Maybe if it's Door to Nothingness, you can bring in like Force of Vigor. Yeah, let's just start spinning. We can obviously keep making more and more mana, but I think that's a bit redundant at this point. More Golos. Let's just spin again. Yeah, we're just going to keep going. Like, we could keep making, like, playing all these cards, but we can play them till the end of the turn, and all we need to do is find an Emrakul. There we go. So Emrakul comes into play, and we've got so much mana, I think we might as well just... If our opponent isn't going to concede, I mean, we might as well just play everything we can. Okay, there we go. So now we can just keep doing these, I guess. We don't really need to, but our opponent isn't conceding. Oh no, we have Lethal on board. That's fine, actually. Let's just go with the lands and make our life a little bit quicker. Yeah, we're not going to bother doing all that. We're just going to take our extra turn and kill our opponent. Because I'm not sure why they haven't conceded. Maybe they actually have interaction. But let's just find out. We're going to discard a bunch of cards. Really doesn't matter, I don't think. Opponent is just taking it like a champ. So that was technically a turn 4 kill, but I mean, we really won on turn 3. I think our opponent has just yielded and just and just walked off. I don't really know what happened there. Like why they decided to keep playing after they saw the Emrakul, I do not know. So we know our opponent's on creativity. Does that mean we want sanctity? Probably not. It does work against them, but I don't think it's particularly impactful. I think we just run it back. Like Veil of Summer is fine, but I don't think we need it because it does stop their Archon for a turn, but I don't think we're trying to stop our opponent's Archon from resolving. I think it's just a case of we try and kill them. If they resolve the Archon, we probably still can just win the next turn anyway. One thing to consider is actually this is probably better than this, because they will be bringing in some sort of artifact hate. Maybe we want another one, but we'll run with just one for now. This hand is a bit slow. I think we can go ahead and mulligan this. Okay, this is better. We'll go ahead and keep. We need to put something back. We need the bounce land. We do want the Saga, I think. Double Storm is quite a lot. We can put back a Storm. So we have got turn 1 Amulet of Vigor, turn 2 copy the Amulet of Vigor, turn 3 go get another Amulet of Vigor. Oh, they do play Thoughtseize. So they probably just take the Storm Festival here or the Amulet of Vigor. They go for the Amulet, that's fine. I think either was a good choice there. Sweet, so we'll play the Saga out and we'll just pass the turn. Yeah. Them taking the Amulet does then mean that we can't copy it the following turn, so I think that's a very good choice there. Opponent just plays a Bloodstained Mire and passes the turn. Sweet. We draw a Beanstalk. Well, we can't cast it this turn, so we'll just play the Gardens and pass it back to our opponent. Opponent's going to end a turn, fetch their Triome here, I assume. They are. Nice. Don't really see the point in playing Jund Creativity at the moment, because I feel like it just gets absolutely destroyed by 5-color Beanstalk, Elementals, and all that stuff. Inquisition. Yeah, okay, they take our Beanstalk. Maybe we should bring in Leyline of Sanctity in this matchup. Beanstalk is gone. And our opponent's fetching. What have they got? Surely not more. Surely not more hand disruption, right? Oh, it's going to be like a Bitter Reunion or something. Oh, gross. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's really good. So we'll pick the Forest, and I don't know how. Our opponent's on 1 card actually, so they need to still win the game. And we draw the Amulet. That is so lucky. Well, we'll play the Rot Farm and bounce the Forest, because we still got the Gruul Turf in hand, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, our opponent just has to find some way to kill us very, very quick here, because there's not much more disruption they can do, surely. Okay, Fable's not a bad start. Probably a bit too slow. Okay, so we can go play the Amulet using the black. Sorry, dude. We just happened to draw an Amulet naturally. Very, very lucky. And now we can go up to 4 mana, which does nothing. So we'll just play the Forest, and yeah, things are looking absolutely great here. We don't have to worry about Thoughtseize, because the only thing we care about at the minute is a land in our hand. And then, regardless of what they take, we can do something good next turn. Opponent discards an Inquisition and a Xander's Lounge. Alright, they got 2 tokens now, but only enough mana to creativity for 1, I think, even if they play a land. Okay, it looks like we're in the clear. Why is this Amulet not over here? That's super weird. So I guess we just go float the mana, play the Gruul Turf. Make some more mana and make some more mana. We'll bounce the Gruul Turf again in case we need to use it later. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So what is the most likely way we get blown out? If we play the Timeless Lotus and they blow up in response to an Amulet of Vigor trigger, that's really risky. So I think the best option is to go for Golos first, because he can go get a Lotus. I think we're just going to use up the black. Yeah, this can go get a Lotus, and then that makes plenty more mana to do everything else. I think that's the safest option. Absolutely, we want to use that. We'll go get the Lotus Field. We are pretty all in now that we've sacked our entire mana base. Does it really matter? I think we're going to go for green just to be safe. And we've got 8 mana. If we cast this and they blow it up, that's really annoying. So I think we just want to Storm first. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it that way. Trigger the Beanstalk, draw even more. There's the Emrakul. So what do we got? Timeless Lotus and Arboreal Grazer. That should just be it done, I think. So these come into play. The Arboreal Grazer is going to give us 4 mana here. And then this is going to give us 10. And yeah, we can just hardcast Emrakul here. Crazy that we managed to do that through all of the disruption our opponent had. But yeah, it's turn 5 to be fair, so it's quite a slow kill. And I think, yeah, let's just cast the Emrakul. It doesn't really matter. I don't think our opponent's going to be able to beat it. They don't have Leyline Binding because they are Jund creativity. Sweet. That was a nice straightforward way to win. Yeah, not really much more to say. The deck is absolutely insane. I can't believe that we managed to win through so much disruption and so many mulligans. Deck is great. On to the next one, I guess. Oh, sweet. We get to go on the play again, back to back. We definitely want to go first. Our opponent is called Super Mario. Awesome name from our opponent. Yeah, this hand is great. We'll go ahead and keep. So I think we just lead off with a Forest into Amulet of Vigor and pass time back to our opponent. I don't want it to get like griefed away or thought seized or anything like that. We could have Ancient Stirrings, but I don't see the point. If you got an Amulet, just play the Amulet, right? Opponent leads off with Blooming Marsh into Thoughtseize. Okay, there you go. Already rewarded for our extremely complex turn 1 of play the best card in the deck. So the question is, what are they taking? I think I would probably consider the Stirrings, but it's tough. Maybe that or Escapes the Wilds. I think Golos is kind of pointless. They're probably playing removal, which means that they can kill Golos in response to the trigger, and then hope that they can prevent it from all going off that way. What are you up to, opponent? Having a little think. Maybe Googling the deck, trying to figure out what we're doing, because obviously normal Amulet does not play Escape to the Wilds or Golos, so they know that something is up. I don't know if they actually know the deck. They do take the Stirrings. Okay, I think that's a reasonable choice. Back to us. I think we're just going to play the Boseiju and pass. Yeah. And now we just need a bounce land, really. A bounce land would be really nice. Because Golos doesn't net mana until you have 2 Amulet of Vigors. So next turn we can go Lotus Field for red, play Escape to the Wilds, but then we just have to hit a bounce land or we don't really do anything. And we've lost our Lotus. But I think you just have to do something, right? What do we got? There's a Saga. I think that's too slow. We're not under any pressure. Alright, we'll play the Saga and then next turn we'll try and go off instead. I don't think, without any creatures in play from our opponent, I don't think that we have to try and combo off anytime soon. We might as well just wait a little bit longer. That 1 extra mana could be a big difference. I don't think we're going to wait and get it to 3 to find another Vigor because they've got an Urza Saga. They could do some shenanigans I don't really want to have to deal with. Opponent just shocks and passes. Okay, not really sure what that means they could have. I think we do just Lotus Field here. It seems like a bit of a suicide, but I think it is correct. So let's just go float a bunch of mana. Lotus Field, and it doesn't actually matter which way we order these anymore because we're not sacking the Lotus Field. So we'll go for red here for the Escape to the Wilds. And then we sack 2 lands. So I guess we go for the 2 that don't tap for multiple mana. And yeah, 6 mana, we can Storm or we can Escape. I guess Storm is a little bit safer. Yeah, let's go for Storm the Festival here actually. Oh, we don't have enough green. Okay, well that solves that problem then, I guess. We'll use all the red. Maybe that was wrong. Maybe you want to keep the red. I'm not sure. Let's see what we found. Okay, sure. So we can go Ancient Stirrings here and try and find a bounce land or something. Gardens is fine, I guess. Stick those in any order. We get an extra land drop for turn, and I guess we just pass the turn. So I would expect the opponent's Urza Saga is going to go and get Pithing Needle. Okay, that's a beatdown plan, is construct tokens. We have so much time. They're going to make another construct? Wow, that is such a slow way to try and kill us. They must just have like nothing in hand. Or like just value cards like Planeswalkers and stuff. Oh, Haywire Might is really good. But I think they would have been better off not making a dude and just using the Haywire Might. Okay, they've got another land drop. Okay, sure. Definitely correct to do it now before the Mycosynth Gardens can copy it. But we are going to be able to get another one anyway, so it doesn't make a huge difference. Actually, no, you need to keep it, right? So that we can't copy. It doesn't really make a difference because... oh, sure, that works too. Grotef was a nice draw. So we've got 3, 4... We've got quite a lot of mana here. So I think we're just going to go... green... Copy this. Pay 1. Play the Gruul Turf. That's going to put us up to 6 mana here. So make 2, make 2, and bounce the Lotus Field because we might be able to play that again. I think first of all we play the Ancient Stirrings. How much mana? We've got 6. Yeah, so we've got enough to go Stirrings, and sure, we'll take any of these. Play a Timeless Lotus. Give us up to 10 mana now. And I think that should just be enough again. because now we can go the next one. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this one. We'll just use up extras of non-green, I think. We're not going to need too much green. Oh, choose one to keep, the one that just came in. Hopefully we've clicked on the correct one. Yes, good. Nice. How much we got? 2, 5, 8, 11, 15 mana. Oh, that's a lot of mana. Let's go ahead and storm here. Again, we just want to keep some green if we can. And what do we got? Another Amulet and Golos. God, this deck does not feel fair. So the Golos trigger resolves. We definitely want to go get a Lotus Field here. It's going to make us, what, like 9 mana? Every time I'm just putting all these triggers on the stack, like these are just making so much mana. This does not feel like you're actually playing like a genuine deck. Like this is like EDH kind of ridiculousness. Yeah, let's just keep going for more green. It's nice to have lots of green. Not too fussed about sacking our lands. I guess we can play the Beanstalk just to make sure we don't run out of mana. Run out of cards. So play the Beanstalk and draw. And 2, 4, 6, 10, 16 mana. That's so much mana. Alright, let's go Escape to the Wilds. We use some red and whatever. Sweet. So we draw another card from the Beanstalk. We drew our Boreal Grazer. And what do we found? Okay, so all we need to do now is get 15 mana and we can just cast this Emrakul. We have a Lotus Field. So we're actually more... We can actually get more mana if we do this first. That's going to come in as... I guess we just copy the Timeless Lotus. That's done, right? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We'll keep the new one, and yeah, that's just game. Finally found it. It's just nice and easy to remember that if you've got 3 Amulets of Vigor, a Timeless Lotus is enough for an Emrakul. Sweet. Really, really glad that we actually managed to get there eventually. I think in this matchup you can bring in the Sanctity. I don't think it's like essential, but it's not terrible. So we can bring those in and... maybe a Welding Jar or 2, because they're going to play Boseijus, right? So sure, we can bring in one of these. What do we take out, though? That's the problem with this deck. It's really, really easy to think, oh, this card would be good, and this card would be good. But what's bad? Not a lot. The deck is just full of gas. I think the Sculpting Steel is pretty safe to come out. Maybe we just don't bother. I don't think we're going to bother. We'll bring in a Welding Jar instead of a Sculpting Steel, just because it kind of does the same thing against, like, if they've got lots of Boseijus. Ooh, this hand isn't great. I think we're going to send this back. Yeah, we'll send that one back. Yeah, this is fine. It's a bit of a push. What are we putting back here? We need a bounce land. So we don't really have the option to put back the Stirrings. We can't put these back. I think it's between the Beanstalk and the Escape the Wilds and the Boreal Grazer. I think speed is the least of our issues. So let's go ahead and put that back. Inquisition. Alright, so they probably should take the Ancient Stirrings here, but I think they'll take a Vigor. Maybe it's better to take an Amulet of Vigor, but I don't know. Ancient Stirring seems like it's more important with this hand. Because if they take this, we can go land Amulet of Vigor, and then turn 2, we just might not ever find a bounce land. If we don't find a bounce land, we just do nothing. Okay, we drew one anyway, it's fine. So we'll go ahead, play Besage You, and play the Amulet. Then next turn we're going to have 3 mana to play with, so we can go Stirrings, maybe find an Amulet of Vigor. If we don't, we can still just Beanstalk. Haywire Might. Oh no, too much removal. Alright. Opponent is going full hate mode on us. That's a really good draw. So let's just go Ancient Stirrings, try and find an Amulet of Vigor. We don't, but we do find an Urza Saga, which is pretty close. So we'll play the Saga and pass the turn. Our opponent is going to get their Urza Saga trigger again before we get ours, so they can go get maybe another Haywire Might if they play 2. If not, they're probably going to have some other shenanigans they can do with it. But again, they don't have a clock. Similar to last game, like they can disrupt the slots, but eventually will combo off. And a Shadow Spear is not going to be enough. A Thoughtseize is pretty good. Are they just going to take the Beanstalk here? Or the Escape? I think either are fine. Yeah, Beanstalk is pretty reasonable. Okay, so we can make a dude, but we are actually going to use this Besage You, I think. So we'll play the Gardens. And I think we just blow this up now, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we just want to get rid of this and not have to worry about what they're going to go get. Maybe it's better to wait for them to get it and then we blow it up and then we don't have to worry about that card anymore. Huh. Maybe that would have been better. Regardless, we've done what we've done. Next turn we've got 1, 2, 3. Only 3 mana, but we'll get the Vigor. That'll put us from 3 up to 4, 5. Enough to escape the wilds. Don't really want to blow our escape to the wilds too early without 2 amulets in play. With 1, it doesn't do too much. Actually, no, we could probably make that work. Oh no. What an awful decision to make. What is the choice? So if we get rid of Escape the Wilds, our bounce land is going to go the following turn anyway. Alternatively, if we get rid of the Cruel Turf, we could just find an Amulet. Sorry, a Lotus Field or another bounce land. Yeah, I think we have to pitch the land here. And just hope to draw a bounce land or a Lotus. See if we've got the heart of the cards with us today. We do. Very, very lucky to draw that. Feel pretty bad for our opponent because we have just drawn incredibly hot. So then we go play the bounce land, put everything on the stack. We might as well float the green real quick. So now we get 2 mana and we get 2 more. We'll bounce it back to hand because we can play it again anyway. Hopefully we're going to find a Lotus Field here anyway. What do we got? There is a Lotus Field. Feels so bad for our opponent because we have just drawn so luckily. Maybe this deck is just good enough to play in like actual events instead of just on Modo. Let's go for green. Yeah. both of these go to the bin. And then we can Golos. That will net us 1 extra mana. I guess we just Stirrings first. Doesn't make too much of a difference. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and Stirrings. Find nothing. And I think we need to Golos first. So Golos comes in, we go get the Lotus Field again. So we net a slight bit more mana. So we go red and green, and then that means that we can cast the Escape to the Wilds and still do more stuff as well. So still spinning, still spinning our wheels, and one green left in the pool. Sorry, what do we got? So we can play another bounce land and just escape again. Yeah, sure. So we'll play the Gruul Turf. I can't believe this is still going. We just need to find another Lotus, and then we can Storm. So that's what we're really looking for here. So, Escape to the Wilds. Hope we find a Lotus again. Sadly not. What can we do here? We are completely out of mana. We've got a land drop, so we can go up to 4. So play the Gruul Turf. Sucks that we've whiffed there, but we can still get some advantage. And don't forget, like, we can play these cards next turn. Escape to the Wilds isn't until end of turn. It's until the turn after. So we're on 4 mana. We have no more land drops. So I guess we just Ancient Stirrings. And I think we want a Timeless Lotus here. And they can go in any order. 3 mana with not enough to do anything. It might have been better there actually to just play the GB Saga, because that would then mean that next turn we are guaranteed 5 mana. Because at the current situation we don't have enough to do anything next turn. Because we've got no land in play, we can only make 4 unless we draw a Lotus. That was quite unfortunate. But that could have just been a slight misplay by myself. But things are still looking very, very strong for us. So it's not the end of the world. Our opponent is spending their turn making construct tokens, whilst over here we're making, like, well, we've got 30 cards left in our deck. So we've drawn half of our deck already. Opponent is Pithing Needling. I assume naming Timeless Lotus, but they could also name Golos. Both are good options here. They have named Golos. Okay. I don't think we really care that they've named Golos because we've got 2 Storms to use anyway. I guess we can't use them straight away. Each player sacrifices a creature. Why are they... Sorry, not each player. We sacrifice a creature. I'm not sure why they've done that. We weren't using the Golos anyway. I guess if we blow this up, but... And we just get exceptionally lucky again. The luck continues. Because now we can combo off again. Alright, so we make 2 mana. Make 2 more mana. Then our bounce land comes back to hand. So then we get to our Boreal Grazer here. Do the whole thing again. And hope that we can go off this time. So yeah, that's definitely named Golos, which is Very unfortunate for our opponent. Wait, does it work on mana abilities? Oh, except if they're mana abilities. Okay, so they couldn't have named the Lotus. Alright, up to 7 mana. I think, yeah, they're not going to have 1 mana destroy an artifact. So I think we're just going to lead off with the Lotus. If you're worried about them having artifact hate, then obviously you don't want to play this just yet. You'd probably better off be playing like the Storm. But because I'm fairly confident they don't have interaction for it, I think that's fine. We've got 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mana. So I think we want to Storm first, because then if we find more amulets, we can still use the Timeless Lotus and get more mana out of it. What do we find? Another Timeless Lotus is pretty nice. And I guess a Golos nets us the most mana. No, we're going to go with the Mycosynth. The reason we're going to do that is because then we can copy the Amulet of Vigor, and I think long term that will actually net us more mana. We'll keep the new one. And I'll stick these on the stack. You don't have to do this right now, but it's just easier to get over and done with. Using blue is fine. This deck feels so busted. Oh, sorry, we have to keep it. Pick a Timeless Lotus, and then we can do all this. I think it always puts the new item on the right, so you can just always pick, which is nice, so you don't have to keep worrying about it. I always get paranoid that I'm going to click the wrong one and then ruin the whole thing. All right, Storm. Try and keep like an even amount of the non-green, in case we ever end up Golosing. And have we whiffed? Oh no, we've still got stuff over here, right? Yeah. I think we do want to just get another Amulet. Yeah, we've got so much mana, I think it's fine. We'll just do that. Keep the new one. And now we get 4 triggers, because they do actually come in at the same time. So the Amulet of Vigor does work on stuff when you hit it. Okay, nice. So now we can cast the second Storms of the Festival, which is now the 3rd one, I think, of the turn. Sure, we'll go for Lotus Field and the Mycosynth Gardens. Okay. And then what we're going to do is stick all the triggers on the stack. And then we're just going to copy, so we don't have to sack the Gardens. Copy the Vigor. Spend whatever mana at this point. Oh, I missed a bunch of mana there. Well, I missed 3 mana, but I really don't think the mana is going to be the problem. If anything, we're going to just run out of cards to spend mana on. So we sack this. Now we flash back this Storm, and we have to hit something at this point. Or we have just completely fizzled. What do we got? Oh, we just keep spinning our wheels. Okay, we need to figure out what we're going to do to win, because we can't use Golos anymore. We need to find this Emrakul. I don't know what the quickest way is to find an Emrakul, but let's just go. I guess Double Grazer is good, because then at least we have blockers. I can't believe we haven't actually comboed off here. It's insane that we just ran out of gas. This was actually the wrong way of doing things, but we literally have nothing to use the mana on, so it's irrelevant. Yep. We have lots of mana. And the second trigger, sure, we'll put in a bounce land. And again, sadly, nothing to do with all this mana. Such a shame that we could have had access to, we probably had like, what, 30 mana this turn? Yeah, just nothing to do with it all. In fact, I should have just hit no on that and just not wasted loads of time on the clock. I cannot believe we actually did not go off there. That was painful to see how much mana we can make and then do nothing. But there is an Emrakul in those 21 cards that we need. Let's just yield through their turn. We can start making dudes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they are going to be 8 power dudes. So we can just kill them with construct tokens, but it takes a little bit longer. Opponent plays a tapped Blooming Marsh. So they are just completely out of gas here. Sure, so they're going to swing with a 4/4. Yeah, that's fine. I don't really see any reason to throw a Grazer in the way just yet. It has trample anyway. Each player discards a card. Sure. Sheoldred's Edict, yep. It's pretty dead right now. Beanstalk off the top. Very, very fortunate for us. And we're running very low on time at this point. Yeah, I need to play a lot quicker actually. It's very hard to play and talk. It always bites me that I try to explain my plays, but it does just take naturally a lot longer to do. So we'll play the Beanstalk. Hopefully find something to do. We found the Storm. Very, very fortunate for us. And we get to draw from the Beanstalk. And there's the Emrakul. Okay, so this should be fairly straightforward now. Golos and the bounce land. That's going to net us a lot of mana, and I think that's just going to be enough. So that goes on the stack first, then all the Amulet triggers. Okay, so Golos goes and gets us something that makes mana. What do we got? Oh, we still got Lotus Field. Nice. Oh, that's an awkward way of it happening, because now we lose the lands. It doesn't matter, I don't think. All I've got to do is swing with an Emrakul, and that should just be enough. Well, I say just an Emrakul. An Emrakul, a Golos, a very big Saga token. Eventually all of these will resolve. There is nothing to bounce, but it doesn't really matter. We just want to play the Emrakul. I guess we can keep going if we really wanted to with the Storm the Festival, but 2 minutes on the clock. I think we just want to play this Emrakul and get our opponent dead. Alright, we lose all our mana. And let's go to our next turn and get our opponent dead, because we are dangerously close to running out of time. It shouldn't take 2 minutes to kill our opponent here. So we'll swing with all three. Annihilate is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's not too much they can do here. I can't see any out realistically. How can you win with no lands in play? I think their only out is us timing out. And if that's the case, then 2 minutes to swing with an Emrakul should be plenty. Sweet. Another really nice win. The deck is so sweet. Is this deck just actually genuinely really powerful and not just a meme deck? I think it might be. So there you have it, guys. That is Up the Beanstalk with Timeless Lotus in the Amulet of Vigor deck. The deck seems absolutely insane. It's so consistent. It's way more consistent than I could have ever imagined. The Beanstalk really ties the deck together. It means your worst draws are much more consistent because it can help you find things like lands that you need or whatever you're looking for. I like the one-off Sculpting Steel. It's fine. I can't think of anything better to play in its place. But if there is anything, I'd be more than happy to take it out. It doesn't offer the deck too much. It's kind of just filler. And I don't really care for the sideboard. I think you do need an Emrakul or two. That I don't think is really up for negotiation. Maybe you play one other threat just to give yourself an option against Stonebrain. Stonebrain can be quite tricky. But other than that, the sideboard was fine. Maybe you want to play Leyline of the Void against Scam instead of Sanctity. But yeah, I don't think you really sideboard too much with this deck. You just don't really need to. The deck is very linear. So I don't really like sideboarding with it anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, please make sure to leave the video a like. That makes a huge difference. And if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? This video is like an hour long, and like if you've watched an hour worth of content, you probably want to watch some more. So make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.